Hello, everyone. I'm Keith Harris. I'm here with one of our team members, Joe Dickson. Joe is a member of our technician team. Welcome, Joe, and thanks for taking some time out of your day. Joe is a member of our technician team. He's been with LNC for over 4 years now. I wanted to sit down with Joe because he's preparing for the Rock and Roll Marathon in Savannah on November the 5th. Read some background on the Rock and Roll Marathon. Each year, more athletes participate in the Rock and Roll running events than any other running series in the United States. Rock and Roll started with a unique idea in 1998, a marathon with bands along the course celebrating the participants. While entertainment and energy of the festival weekend defined the Rock and Roll Marathon, runners have also raised more than $310 million for participating charities. One of LNC's favorite charities, St. Jude Children's Hospital, is the official featured charity of the Rock and Roll Marathon. Joe, you were not a runner when you first started with us.
No, that's correct. I was more of just a casual runner. Maybe a neighbor that would come over and say, "Hey, you want to go for a run?" And maybe do a 2 or 3 mile run every once in a while. But no, I would not consider myself a runner when I started with y'all.
So tell us what started you on your journey for this event.
Well, one day, I think it wasn't too long after, we had a John Maxwell event here where we were doing personal growth. The fire alarm went off, and we all ran outside, and it wasn't a fire. It was Derek. He was telling us that he was trying to promote some people to participate in a 5K race for the Children's Attention Home, and so that's kind of where I started. I said I may have a chance to do well at this if I go out there and train a little bit, and so that's kind of when I started, about 3 years ago. I guess that's when that all happened.
Good thing it wasn't a fire.
That's correct. We were all glad of that.
Walk me through your training days. How do things look during your training?
During my training, well, it was an 18-week training program in order to prepare for the marathon. It's basically a short run on a Monday, and then a medium run on Tuesday, a short run on Wednesday, cross training on Thursday, your rest on Friday, and then a long run on Saturday, and then a rest on Sunday. And so the distances change along the way. So it steadily increases up until about 3 weeks before the race, and then it starts declining until the race. So that's been kind of my normal week since the beginning of somewhere in July is whenever the training started for me.
Okay. So how things has it also had an effect on your diet? What have you had to do as far as eating is concerned?
Well,
have you had to change some things up there?
Yeah, there is this illusion that if you're running and you're burning that much calories that you can eat whatever you want, but that's really not the case. There's foods that make you feel bad when you run, no matter how much you run, and some of those foods would be fried foods. I've cut. I haven't had any fried foods that I can recall since I started, and then also sugary foods.
Okay.
And the same thing with like sweet tea. At one point in time I considered myself almost addicted to the stuff, but I've cut it out too. So
Okay.
mainly just drinking water and staying away from stuff we all know that's bad for us. Other than
Right.
that, then it's pretty much been just regular stuff.
So tell me, what is your goal for this marathon? What exactly do you want to what do you want to get to?
Well, I started out wanting to finish this marathon in under 4 hours, but I've progressed a little further than what I thought, and now I'm shooting for closer to 3.5 hours
Okay.
for the whole time. I may fall somewhere in between the two, but that's kind of a goal that I'm shooting for, and just hoping that I can maintain that pace throughout the race.
What kind of an impact has your love for running had on your family?
Well, first of all, they've been very patient with me, so I have to tell them I really appreciate their support. You know, they put up with me being gone. You know, the longer runs, especially as they progress, it's 2.5 hours out of your day, so you have to adjust something. I've tried to make it to where I've ran in the morning, and that way it's not. It does. They don't. Normally, if I'm getting back at a fairly decent hour, they don't feel that much impact from it. But they've, I think that they've seen me work at something and that I'm hopefully be able to accomplish it. And I hope that they see that and they say, hey, I can do this too. Also, Ashlyn, she just got finished running her first 5K,
Okay.
and so she decided she wanted to participate in that, and I was very proud of her and how she ran and through her training of it. And Baxter, he's a little bit young, he's only 7, so he gets out there and he still gets out there with us, and he rides his bike and runs while me and Ashlyn run, and so we've kind of tried to make it to where it didn't impact him to where I was just gone. It could
Right.
actually impact them in a good manner. We could spend time together, and it's been a real joy to see Ashlyn accomplish something and her be so proud of it, you know, to say, hey, I did this, you know,
Yeah.
I finished that 5K, and that was something that when she first started, she didn't think she could do. And so that's probably been one of the highlights for me, just to see her get involved with it.
And I watched her when she finished, and she was really excited about where she placed. That was an inspiration for me to see her that excited about running.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
not many people get too excited about
and
it.
you don't realize how that's going to influence
Right.
her from here on out. You know
Mhm.
what benefits that's going to have for her, and as a father, that always makes you proud and happy to
Right.
see that growth in her. So
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, you are an inspiration to all of us here at Lord and Company,
Well,
and I
thank
hope that someone else might see this and maybe they'll start running as well.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for being with us.
That was good.